from the moment that I started bleeding, I was bleeding like really, really heavy, and it felt like it wasn't going to stop. That is not something that anyone wants to experience because it's scary and you could pass out.
I'm a dog, but I still wanna party. Things felt like I'm ready to bend. I'm a 10, so I pull in a can. Like Daddy, all of the bodies is pretty. Damn, all of the bodies is bad. It girls, and we ain't playing tag.
Hey guys, it's Drea, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So today we're talking about periods. Um, I know talking about periods can get personal, can get nasty, but something that us women go through. And if I can help somebody with what I've experienced and what I've been through, I definitely want to share my knowledge. So first off, let me start by saying I'm not a doctor at all. Make sure you do your own research. These are just things that have helped me, and hopefully they can help you. So this week, Unflow came, unfortunately, and from the moment that I started bleeding, I was bleeding like really, really heavy, and it felt like it wasn't going to stop. And do I normally have heavy periods? Sometimes, but not to the degree that I was experiencing this time around. So I had heavy bleeding and I was cramping really bad, like to the point where I felt like I couldn't get off the toilet. Now, I knew that last month I did not have that much of a healthy diet because it was my birthday and I was eating a lot of junk and I was drinking alcohol. It could become a 2 week celebration, and if you let it, it could become a month-long celebration. So there was a lot of junk food being eaten. I wasn't really having salads. I was skipping the veggies. It just wasn't an ideal eating month for me. And I have heard before that if you don't eat healthy the month before your new cycle starts, you will feel the impact. And I definitely felt it. My cramps the first 2 days were so bad. Like, I normally have cramps leading up to my period or maybe the first day, but this went on for 2 days nonstop. I spent the first day in bed because that's how bad I felt. I was taking ibuprofen, it wasn't working. I just felt like crap. I was taking multiple baths a day just to have the warm water like on my body to help with the cramps. I was drinking tea. I was getting rest. I was drinking water. I was doing everything that I thought that I could do. I was like, why are these cramps hurting so bad? And do I have fibroids? Yes, I have 4 fibroids, but I've never been one of those girls who suffer from a lot of pain due to their fibroids, or one of those girls who just can't leave the house the whole week while they're on their period. Normally, maybe I might have to stay home the first day, but for me to be in excruciating pain and bleeding heavy nonstop, that is not me. So the next day, I woke up, I had no energy, my vision was blurry, I had brain fog, and I was like, oh no, my iron must be low. I had been taking iron pills all week, but for some reason, I guess they didn't work, or because I had bled so heavy my first day of my period, I knew my iron levels were extremely low. But I was like, I have to get out the house. I have to do something today. I can't sit in the house. I have things to do. I went out the house, and when I tell you my vision was blurry while I was driving, I was like, this is not safe. I need to go back in the house. I was sweating. My head was just like hot and sweaty. And I was like, what? It felt like I had a fever. Like my head was so hot. I couldn't think straight. I constantly was feeling like I'm going to pass out. I'm going to pass out. And I had eaten that day and everything. The dizziness, the lightheadedness, the brain fog. It looked like things that were not moving were moving. Like it looked like cars around me were moving, like parked cars, they were not moving. I would get out the car and I would just be like so dizzy. And that is not something that anyone wants to experience because it's scary and you could pass out like that. I even felt like yesterday I should have went to the emergency room, but I didn't. But I was that close to going. I was in that much pain. I was bleeding that heavy. And I was like, Andrea, go in the house. Like, you don't need to be out. You need to be resting. And the thing that makes it scary is I live alone. So if I pass out or something happens to me, no one's going to know. So I was like, okay, I need to eat something that is iron rich. I need to eat some beef. I need to eat something. And I was like, I'm not cooking. I'm going to go just buy something. I'm going to eat it and I'm going to rest. But I need to get my levels back up because I knew that it was getting bad. So I got on Chat GBT, and Chat GBT was like, just go get a burrito bowl from Chipotle with steak, black beans, onions, and fajitas. And she was like, get some brown rice and squeeze lime over it because the lime is vitamin C and it helps absorb the iron in the steak and also the leafy greens that I put on top. And also, she said, drink a glass of orange juice. So I got home, I ate the bowl. I was so tired, I could barely even eat. And I wasn't tired like sleepy, I was like fatigued, tired. Like I just had no energy. I ate the bowl, and I can honestly say within an hour and a half, my energy was back up. I felt so much better. I was cramping less. I wasn't bleeding as heavy. And I was like, what? Like, all I did was eat a steak bowl and I felt so much better. So I decided that one, I wanted to come on here and make a video about it to help someone else. And two, I'm making another iron rich meal tonight. Well, I'm having another iron rich meal tonight, but I'm going to be making it myself. And I'm going to walk you guys through the nutritional value, how it supports your menstrual cycle, and how it supports your iron levels, and how eating steak during your period can help you to have less cramps. It makes the bleeding less heavy for sure. And I did my own research on it. This is not just coming off the top of my head. I actually did do some research on it. So tonight I'm going to be making steak, rice, spinach with onions, tomatoes, and I'm going to squeeze lime on top, and I'm going to drink orange juice with my meal. So I want to run down the list of how these things support a lighter period and a less painful period and helps to boost your iron levels. Eating steak during your period helps replenish the iron you lost from bleeding. So that's where the steak comes in. It keeps your iron levels up and prevents long and heavy periods. It also prevents fatigue. It will prevent deficiencies that can make your period longer and heavier. It supports hormone production. It has B12, zinc, and it's high in protein. Shortens the shedding process, reduces inflammation, and less cramping. And when you pair it with vitamin C, it makes it even better because, as Chat said yesterday, she said, eating an iron rich meal without vitamin C is like going to the club with no ID. You're not getting in. So that was something that helped me remember, like, you can have your steak, you can have your spinach, but if you're not pairing it with orange juice or some type of vitamin C, then it won't absorb into your body correctly. Also, if you're eating an iron rich meal and you're having caffeine with it or you're having alcohol, it won't absorb into your body the way it needs to. So that's something else you want to stay away from. You don't want to be eating an iron rich meal with a side of a margarita or a side of coffee. That's counterproductive. Okay, and then pair it with the greens, which will be spinach tonight, which we know spinach is very high in iron. And then I'm going to be having rice. And according to research, rice is good to have with the iron rich meal because it helps absorb the nutrients from the steak and the greens without crashing your blood sugar. I'm also having tomatoes with it, and tomatoes are high in vitamin C, which also help to absorb the iron out of the steak and the spinach. And drinking it with orange juice, which is high in vitamin C, and I'm squeezing lime on top of it, which is high in vitamin C and reduces inflammation due to your period. Then I'm also going to have onions, and onions help balance the estrogen. So basically, I think that this is something that I want to start doing moving forward because I don't want to experience what I experienced the first 2 days. I'm on my third day now. I haven't had any cramps all day. I've been bleeding a lot less. I've had to change a lot less. And like I said, I do have fibroids, and fibroids do cause heavy bleeding, but my fibroids have never given me an issue where I'm in so much pain or I'm just bleeding so much I can't leave the house. But these first 2 days of my period were bad, and I cannot afford to go through this next month. I will be making it a healthy month, unlike last month. So I'm about to start cooking. See you in the next clip. Okay, so this is how the food came out. That is the spinach, rice, steak, onions, tomatoes, a jalapeno, the lime that I'm gonna squeeze on top. And I think it looks pretty good. Okay guys, so we're about ready to eat. Um, Remember I said that I would squeeze lime on top of all of it, so that helps with absorbing the vitamin C. Also, my orange juice, I got this from Publix. Already started drinking it yesterday. Natalie's orange juice, one ingredient, fresh oranges, and non-GMO. Okay, let's taste. Let's taste it. Rice and steak. It's good, but it's hot. So yesterday, I had to order out. I had Chipotle because I literally didn't have the energy to cook. That's how fatigued I was from having low iron. So today, I'm glad that I even had the energy to cook this meal. Um, According to my doctors, I'm severely anemic, so I can't have too many days like I had yesterday. So, like I said, this month I'm going hard. I'm eating healthy. I'm not going to be eating a lot of junk because I can't have another period like that. That period was a very, very bad period. I hope that this information that I shared with you guys today will be helpful to you. Maybe somebody struggling with low iron, or somebody else who's anemic, or somebody struggling with heavy periods and bad cramps. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.
And we can play tag.